deadly hitting and a battle of the bullpens. And for the O's, they have one of the best bullpens in baseball, and as a result, pulled out a win. Tonight, the O's try to keep the wins coming. Miguel Gonzalez heads to the mound against the Twins. Up next on MASN. It's the Orioles on MASN on a perfect night for baseball at Camden Yards. It's the Orioles and the Minnesota Twins. Tonight it's the opening game of a 4-game weekend series. And hi everyone, I'm Jim Hunter. The catchphrase of this Orioles season has become grind it out. Do whatever you need to do to pick up a win and then come back tomorrow and try again, do the same thing. The players talk about it. Buck Showalter preaches it, and it's having a positive effect on the field. Now last night in the finale against Tampa Bay, the O's won it by a run. Their 26th one-run victory on the year. That is the most in the American League. And by winning, they also avoided losing back-to-back games. Now, the Orioles on the year have been exceptional at avoiding losing streaks, and that's a big reason why they're in first place in the division. The Orioles have had 2 or more losses in consecutive games, only 12 times on the year. And as you see, only Seattle with 10, fewer losing streaks on the year. Mike Bordick, every team looks for consistency, but the Orioles have achieved the consistency.
Oh, they sure have. And the reason why, they're a great team, and they have been for the last few years. I mean, they learned how to win back in 2012 when they made it to the postseason. Last year, a winning year. And this year, they're just carrying on that progress of successful baseball. Every day they come to the field with the idea of winning a ball game. They have great leaders showing the way. Adam Jones, J.J. Hardy. Look at Chris Davis now with more experience, and they follow their lead. I mean, it is a well-rounded team, great pitching, great defense, and, of course, that powerhouse offense.
So tonight it's the opener against the Minnesota Twins. Miguel Gonzalez on the mound as the Orioles look to make it back-to-back wins. Lineups and first pitch are next. By Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. It is an absolutely gorgeous Friday night at Camden Yards. First of 4 against Minnesota. Here's our train game time temperature. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. 75 degrees, just a slight breeze, and very comfortable 45% humidity under mostly sunny skies. So Minnesota comes to town. They're 59 and 74. Here's their lineup: Santana, Dozier, and Mauer, with the rookie Vargas in the cleanup spot. 24 RBIs since coming to the major leagues in August. Arcia, Plouffe, Escobar, Fryer, and Schaefer for Minnesota.
Let's take a look at Miguel Gonzalez's pitch arsenal this season. He uses his fastball at 56%. He really relies on that fastball command. Certainly helps his secondary pitches play up. Breaking ball 29% of the time. He's got the slider and the curveball. And changeup, it's a split finger. Very effective against the lefties. Uses it 15% of the time. 6-7 record. 3.75 earned run average. 83 strikeouts, holding opponents to a 268 batting average. See the opponent home runs though at 21. Well, 17 of those have been solo shots.
And the pitch to Danny Santana is taken for a strike. Santana, one of the many rookies that Minnesota is auditioning this year. He is a player they have a lot of high hopes for the future. Just 23 years old and a switch hitter at the top of the lineup.
Yeah, Santana actually projected to be their shortstop of the future, showing his versatility. They've played him in the outfield quite a bit, but look for him to be playing the middle of the infield very soon.
And a liner to left. It hangs for Delmon Young. And on 3 pitches, 1 down here in the first inning.
Take a look at the Orioles defense behind Gonzalez, Young, Jones, and Markakis in the outfield. Hardy and Scope once again up the middle with Davis and Pierce on the corners, and Caleb Joseph behind the plate.
Orioles have the best defense in the American League. Here's Brian Dozier, one of the few veterans that gets regular playing time. He's got a 7-game hitting streak. 20 home runs as a second baseman. And a high fly ball to deep left. Long run for Delmon Young in the corner. Sliding try. He can't get it, but it's foul. Pretty good effort there by Delmon Young.
Sure was. Delmon runs pretty well for a big guy. Getting after that one. Good sliding attempt there on the end. Tracking this ball a long way. Just coming up a little short. Good effort by Delmon Young.
Well, Delmon one time played for the Minnesota Twins, one of the teams he has played for, and now playing against them. Minnesota played last night in Kansas City, and they won 11-5. They scored 6 runs in the top of the 10th inning against former Oriole Bruce Chen, who was on a relief in Kansas City. And that game ended at exactly midnight Eastern time. Ron Gardenhire's team got the final out. They had their closer Glenn Perkins getting loose when it was a save situation. It became a non-save situation, but Perkins came in anyway, and he had a 3-up, 3-down inning. And there's a base hit to left field for Brian Dozier. A 1-out base runner for the Twins.
Well, Dozier having a fine season. You talked about his 20 home runs, but also hit the doubles as well, and he is a stolen base threat. 20 steals on the season.
There's Joe Mauer, the star of the Minnesota Twins, DHing tonight. Batting at .273, just 4 home runs, and that's the one part of his game. And you wonder the Metrodome effect. In 2009, when he won the MVP, he had 28 home runs. That's the only season in his career he's hit more than 20.
Target Field is a big ballpark, and certainly takes away the power numbers on the Minnesota Twins. They can hit some doubles. They'll shoot the gaps and drive the ball in the alleys, but home runs hard to come by. They're a target.
And 1 strike on Joe Mauer. And a throw to first. And Miguel's had some troubles this year keeping those base runners close.
We'll take a look at Miguel Gonzalez. The Jeep inside the number says first and second in the batting order, hitting .301. But when he gets to the heart of the order, holding them to a .200 batting average. And bottom of the lineup, they're able to get to him as well. You know, he has some great pitches for the heart of the order. They look to try to take Miguel deep. He's got that nasty split finger. Very good at boring that fastball in. Sometimes the top of the order and bottom of the order in lineups can be a little bit pesky, tend to fight a little bit more and foul off some of those tough split fingers.
Well, Miguel's had an interesting year. He spent time on the DL with the right oblique strain. That was in June. Then was sent to the minors just before the All-Star break. Was called back up, sent back to the minors, and called back up last week to make the start against the Cubs in Chicago. The Orioles certainly know how to use their roster. And the 0-2 to Mauer is a little low. You know, there's two ways to look at that. The Orioles certainly are aggressive. If you have options, they'll use them. The players, however, have to buy into it, and the players have. You know, Wei Chen and Kevin Gausman have been sent down. Bud Norris, it happened to him just before the All-Star break, as it did with Miguel. And to a man, they're all of the same opinion. Whatever helps the team, because they know they're coming back.
You know, we were talking about in the open briefly about what this team is all about. And they have incredible team chemistry. Everybody's on the same page.
Mauer down on strikes for the second out.
That's a good fastball right there from Miguel Gonzalez to get Mauer. But, you know, they believe they all have a common goal. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track here. Great location with the fastball. When he's able to paint inside and out, he's going to have a good night with the heater. But the resiliency is always there. But everybody in the whole organization, I think, is on the same page about what they want to do here in Baltimore, and that's win. So you've seen so many guys not even put up a fight, you know, when they're moved as frequently as they have this season, because it's try to keep this team winning and on track.
And here's the rookie Kenneth Vargas, who is really opening some eyes. He's just 2 for his last 14, but big numbers since coming up from the minor leagues, including 24 RBIs in the month of August. And not only did he come up, Mike, from the minor leagues, he came up from Double-A. He was playing at New Britain in the Eastern League and comes up to the bigs.
Yeah, they have some rookie players that are really making an impact here through the month of August. They've been very productive. I mean, they haven't had a problem scoring runs this season, and actually over the last month, just under 6 runs per game. So these guys can hit. You mentioned Vargas with the 24 RBIs, but 34 hits as well this month. So he's been raking.
And the 0-1 is popped up. J.J. Hardy at short in the shift. And he's got it for the out. So 1 out single and a man left. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Minnesota nothing. And here come the O's. I survived it. I'm at the ball game on Friday night. Now I'm back at school, and I'm going to work off all that energy. Orioles starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. Markakis, Pierce, and Jones. How about Adam? 50 extra base hits, 4 consecutive seasons. 6th player in team history to do that. Cruz DHing, then Young and Hardy, Davis, Joseph, and Scope.
And let's take a look at Trevor May's pitch arsenal this season. Now, this is only his 4th start. He used that fastball 60% of the time, 90 to 95 with the heater, breaking ball 24% of the time, and it's a curveball and the slider mix. The changeup at 16%. Pretty good pitch for him, but look at that earned run average at 8.79. The reason why, take a look at the walks. 13 walks in 14 1/3 innings in his 3 starts. Opponent's hitting .387, so when he doesn't walk a guy, he's leaving it up in the zone. He's been hit around pretty much all over the place. 425 by the righties, 318 by the lefties.
He made his major league debut on August the 9th as he gets set to face Markakis and took a loss at Oakland. And his mound opponent that day was Jeff Samardzija. And the Athletics went out and got Samardzija for the pennant chase. And Trevor May comes up and he's all excited to be in the major leagues, and he has to face Samardzija in his debut, the game in which he lost. Lifted to left field. There is Jordan Schaefer, and in on the ball, and he's got it for the out. Markakis is retired, 1 away.
Now let's take a look at the Twins defense behind May. Schaefer, Santana, and Arcia in the outfield. Escobar and Dozier up the middle. Plouffe and Vargas on the corners, with Fryer doing the catching. Now Fryer, rookie catcher as well, that giving Suzuki the night off, but he actually caught May 8 times in the minor league, so he's familiar with him, and it might help him settle down here in the early going of his rookie campaign.
Yeah, Minnesota is going with an 8-man bullpen and a 3-man bench, as the Orioles had the tail end of the last road trip. Of course, the Orioles still have an 8-man bullpen, but they have a 5-man bench because Wei-Yin Chen and Kevin Gausman are temporarily at the Gulf Coast League. And they have flown to Florida to join the team, and they'll have their side session and then come back.
And that'll be September, and everybody else can stay for through the month.
And the next month, hopefully. Hit hard, but right at Plouffe. And Pierce retired for the second out. And Trevor May retires the first 2 batters. He has some interesting splits, and Mike talked about how he's been hit around .387 in his first 4 big league appearances. But with the bases empty, he holds opponents to .273. When men get on base, they're batting .517. Ouch. He does not like to pitch from the stretch.
Well, still a young kid, 24 years old. He's a big guy, though, 6'5", out on the mound. He came over in a trade from Philadelphia, he and Vance Worley, for Ben Revere back in 2012 in the winter.
Adam Jones, first ball swinging, pops it up. Vargas at first is calling, and he's got it. So Trevor May has a very quick 3 up and 3 down inning. Friday night baseball at Camden Yards, no score. Forward to the Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. A nice view upstairs, the upper deck level. Sun setting in the west. What a beautiful night it is, and reflecting off the windows of the warehouse. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Another day you don't need your air conditioner.
It's been a summer of that, hasn't it? It's been beautiful in Baltimore.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez, 12 pitches to get through the first inning. Fastball was working, so stick with it. There's Chris Davis moving to the other side as Oswaldo Arcia comes up. Plouffe and Escobar will follow. Arcia's had an injury-plagued year, batting at .228, 3 for his last 11. And a swing and a miss, 0-1. Arcia, another youngster, 23 years old. He's actually the veteran in this group. It's his second year.
Right. Yeah, they have some good young players, and you know, the more they play together, you know, work together, and if they can really get that starting rotation straightened out a little bit, it's potentially going to be a very good team. I think they've got some guys that have been around enough as well to have that leadership on a team full of young potential superstar type players.
Well, they went up the ladder. How about that? He got ahead. He went a little higher, went higher even still, and a 3-pitch strikeout went away.
This is how you take advantage of some young hitters. You see the first fastball down the middle, and then just rising the next two to the top of the zone. Going to chase once, try him again, and sure enough, right at the top of the zone. Take a look at Miguel's delivery here. Very efficient, smooth. Nice stride out. Good follow through. There have been times at the beginning of the season where Miguel's front shoulder would fly out and he'd lose a lot of pitches arm side, but he's made the adjustments. He's actually pitched very well since the All-Star break. He's had 6 quality starts in his last 7, so he's on his game. And I think when you can repeat your delivery and it's as solid and smooth as Gonzalez is, you're going to have success with all your pitches.
1-1 on Trevor Plouffe. Minnesota third baseman, 10 home runs, 65 RBIs. Plouffe, one of the players they drafted and developed, first round pick in 2004. They drafted him as a high school player out of Encino, California. And Miguel gets ahead of him 1-2.
Yeah, he's one of the guys we were talking about, the doubles. They don't hit many home runs, but he's got 38 doubles this season, second in the American League.
Popped up foul wide of first. Pierce is over hoping for a play. And he reaches up and makes the grab. How about that? And the hometown fans stayed out of his way and he was able to grab it.
This play by Steve Pierce every night does something to make you say, wow. I mean, here finds the wall and then jumps to take it away from the fans and finds himself a seat right there on the wall. Good play. Nice concentration by Pierce.
Well, maybe that guy got out of the way because of the Pierce elbow.
Showing the ups as well.
Now there's an athlete. So Pierce helps out Miguel. 2 down. Here's Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop, and there's a strike. And Miguel Gonzalez has thrown strike 1 to 6 of the first 7 batters in this game. Escobar 277, but he's 0 for his last 16. One of 3 switch hitters in this Minnesota lineup.
That's where you want to go. So many of the Orioles pitchers have been so effective at pitching inside. They're not afraid to miss in there. They got to move his feet. You see Caleb now after that pitch in working outside. Good job there.
Well, Miguel 6-7 on the year. It's his 21st start. He has held opponents to 3 runs or less in 15 of his 20 starts. And he has held opponents to 2 runs or less in 11 of 20 starts.
And Miguel's been solid, and he has been ever since he's been a part of this team. And you can count on him to really keep the team in a ball game. He's had some big ones, pitches well against some big teams as well.
1-2 on Escobar, 2 outs and the base is empty. And 1 upstairs, and Escobar laid off. Orioles bench, Nick Hundley in the middle, sitting with the pitchers. There's Tillman and Bud Norris. A little high, doesn't chase, ball 3. Miguel coming off a loss last Sunday against the Cubs. Tough luck loss. The Cubs won that game 2-1 at Wrigley Field. And the 3-2 is popped up. Caleb Joseph will put it away in a 3-up, 3-down inning for Miguel Gonzalez. Well, the Birds have the best defense in the American League, and plays like that get it done. Steve Pearce into the crowd to take it away from Blue. Officer Jessica Saplina of the U.S. Navy. Jessica, third-class petty officer in the Navy. She's from West Bend, Wisconsin, and is currently stationed at Fort Meade. She joined the Navy March 10, 2013 as an IT, and she was chosen Junior Sailor of the Quarter. And she's currently a student at Anne Arundel Community College for Nursing and is intending to apply for a commission to the Nursing Corps. So congratulations to Petty Officer Jessica Saplina being honored here by the Orioles and their military salute. Yes, you're on camera. Stars and Stripes and the Maryland flag flying high over downtown Baltimore on this Friday night. Those are 3-1 on the homestand, and they have won 19 of their last 26 series to improve to 76 and 56.
Yeah, they've been playing some great baseball. They made an incredible turnaround here at home. They're under 500 for the first 40 games, but have turned it on, and the best team been playing in their home field lately. Unbelievable. Everything really working together for the Orioles offensively. They've been pitching and great starting pitching. Their bullpen has been phenomenal. Of course, the defense is always there.
Showalter's club in first place in the East as Cruz fouls it back. 1-1 on Nelly. Cruz leading the American League in home runs with his 34. 5 hits on the homestand and 1 RBI. The book on Trevor May is he does have a good fastball, but commanding it is another story.
Yeah, it's really followed him throughout his minor league career and now on to the big leagues as well.
Big full cut and miss, 2-2 in that major league debut against Oakland. Of course, the Athletics are a very good team with good batting eyes. He walked 7 in that start in his debut. That was on August the 9th. And the 2-2 is a little low, ball 3. And even though he lost in his last start against the Tigers, he's coming off a career high in innings when he went 5 1/3. And this is his 5th big league appearance in his 4th start. He's a big guy, 6'5", 215. And he gets Cruz. So 4 in a row retired by Trevor May to begin the game here. 1 away in the Orioles' second. The Maryland Lottery contestant of the game is Jenna Nagao from North Potomac. She's won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game tonight. You can play the Orioles scratch-off from the Maryland Lottery for your chance to be a contestant of the game and enter by September 1st to qualify. You could win a trip for two to see the World Series. Find out how, mdlottery.com/Orioles. Ball one to Delmon Young, who comes in batting exactly .300. He is 3 for 10 on the homestand, which is exactly .300.
There you go. Pretty healthy cut right there from Delmon Young, and he has been so consistent in any role Buck Showalter has put him in. Pinch hitting, of course, best in the American League. On DH, he's played some left field. Whatever is asked of him, he's been doing a great job at it.
1-2 the count. Well, he has certainly benefited in terms of increased playing time with the Manny Machado injury, with Steve Pearce pretty much playing full-time every day at first base, and Manny Machado now on the DL with Chris Davis at third. That opens up 4 at-bats for somebody, and that somebody for the most part has been Delmon Young. Pearce had been getting a lot of starts in left field where Delmon's playing tonight, and that's about the depth that you try to put together on a bench. You give the manager some quality choices. Fights off a good pitch to stay alive at 2-2.
Yeah, one thing that the Orioles have had all season long with Steve Pearce, who has been a role player his whole career, and then boy, he caught on fire and you couldn't get him out of the lineup. He was playing great defense. When you play great defense, and of course you're swinging the bat, you earn Buck Showalter's trust, and now you just can't get him out of the lineup. He is an everyday player. Back-to-back strikeouts. Puts in Delmon Young tough. Pretty good breaking ball there on the outside corner.
5 in a row retired by May out of Kelso, Washington, in Washington State. Here's J.J. Hardy. J.J. 4 hits on the homestand, including a home run, and he'll look at strike one. J.J. has batted exactly .300 on the year against right-handed pitching.
J.J.'s been swinging the bat well, of course, playing the great defense, but this year, more so than years past, has used the whole field. His power numbers have been down a bit.
Broken bat bloop, and that falls in for a base hit. Escobar out, but he couldn't reach it. J.J. the master of the bloop all of a sudden.
There you go.
Broke his bat, but he's on with a single. Orioles' first base hit.
This fastball riding in. Ends up getting it off the label. Breaks the bat. You saw it splinter a little bit right there, but nestles in between the shortstop and left fielder.
J.J. picks up a base hit. His 5th on the homestand, and he's on now for Chris Davis. Chris once again in the number 7 spot. 23 home runs and 63 RBIs. And the shift is on against him.
Oh, what's new there? Try to pull that second baseman as far into the outfield as possible. We saw in that last series in a line drive that looked like it was going to short hop the right fielder, and the second baseman was standing there and took a base hit away from Davis. It's happened all year. See his hits by direction pretty much equal. 20 to left, 24 to center, 32 to right field.
Falls behind, swinging through the off-speed pitch, and that one blocked nicely by Fryer. Well, you look for signs for Chris to break out, and the Orioles are certainly hoping down the stretch he will. And he does have RBIs in 3 of the 4 games on the homestand. It's a modest start, but he's so important run production-wise. That's what you're looking for.
Oh yeah, try to get guys on base and have Davis run into one. Now he's such a threat and certainly wreaks havoc in pitchers and catchers' minds how to pitch to him. You better execute. You're going to be in trouble.
Swings through a high fastball, so 1-2. Well, last night he hit a line drive right into the shift, and it was caught for an out. He hit one to the warning track in left field. Almost hit it out. He's got Hardy at first with 2 down here in the second. And Trevor May ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. And Chris lays off 2-2.
Got him chase on the fastball. Pryor goes right back up there. Good take by Chris Davis. A lot of pitchers work Davis up there in the zone, either hard in or up at the top. And at times, Davis's bat head kind of drops a little bit. He has that hitch in his swing, and the timing just off enough to where a fastball at the top of the zone can beat him.
Upstairs, ball 3. Well, Chris Davis works the count full. This will allow J.J. Hardy to get a head start. You see Vargas looking to the bench to see where they want him to play. And Caleb Joseph waiting on deck. Hardy goes on the 3-2 and a swing and a miss. So Davis down on strikes. May strikes out the side. A 2-out single, a man left through 2. No score. Full or partial plan, including a 13-game plan, you'll be guaranteed an opportunity to buy 2014 postseason tickets before the general public. So don't miss out. For all the details, Orioles.com/postseason or call 888-848-BIRD. So, Mike, let's have some fun. The Orioles are in first place. Now, if the Orioles, with 30 games to go, including tonight, go 15-15 the rest of the way, they'll finish 91-71. Now, for the Yankees to do that, they'd have to go 22-8. For Toronto to do that, they'd have to go 24-5. For Tampa Bay to win 91, they'd have to go 26-2. Just having some fun. I know it's not September, but those are the numbers. That's the math.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, the Orioles haven't had many sub 500 months, and they've been playing some great baseball. Actually, I think the Orioles probably going to get 20 wins or more here in the month of September. The way they've been playing, a lot of things working in their favor. And it's going to be tough for any of those teams to catch the O's.
Strike one on the corner to Eric Fryer. Fryer, the backup catcher, in his 23rd game. Well, the Orioles are 16-9 in August. It is their 4th consecutive month with at least 15 wins. Again, we keep talking about consistency, and they're showing it in the 1-loss total as Miguel gets ahead 0-2. Now, a win tonight would tie them for the most wins in a month. They won 17 in July, so they can equal that with a win here tonight. As they have 3 games left in August. The finale on Monday is September 1st. And the 0-2 to Fryer is swung on and lifted to right. Markakis a long run, but Nick will get there, timing it, and he's got it for the out. And one away here in the 3rd inning. Fans, you can text Masson's word of the day, which is wind up, to 29292 for your chance to win a signed Chris Davis bat. And stay tuned all week long for more chances to win. This crowd settling in on Friday night. Here's Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer was picked up on waivers on August 3rd off the Atlanta Braves roster. And he has become an everyday player. First ball swinging, pops it up, shallow left. Delmon Young charging in on, and he gets there for the out. Schaefer out on one pitch. 7 in a row retired by Miguel Gonzalez. 2 men down. Wayne Kirby likes that, directing the outfielders from the end of the Orioles bench.
Sure. And J.J. Hardy, he took a couple steps on the outfield grass, but when he saw how hard Delmon Young was coming, he said, no, I'll just stay right here. I'm not going to wave him off.
All yours, Delmon. You take it. I'm going to protect my body.
Yeah.
Here's Danny Santana, the leadoff hitter. Flied out to left field his first at bat. And strike one. Boy, Miguel is pounding that strike zone early on. Danny Santana out of the Dominican Republic. 7 seasons in the minor leagues coming through the Minnesota system. Miguel has thrown strike one to 9 of the first 10 batters in this game.
Yeah, he looks good right now. Good fastball command. He's moving it around the zone. And Caleb Joseph, when he locks into something, he knows how to get the most out of his pitchers. And when he sees the fastball command, he's going to be able to set up hitters throughout at bats. They're a beautiful slider down and in to get the second strike.
0-2 is low. Well, you saw Buck Showalter down on the other end of the bench where he rarely goes. We're talking to Wayne Kirby about defensive positioning. Wayne moves the outfielders in between at bats. He had Delmon Young move over a couple of steps towards the line with 2 strikes on the hitter. And you saw Adam Jones shallow in center field.
This team is so good at positioning. I mean, their scouting is right on.
Swept towards the hole. Pierce leads Gonzalez, who gets there ahead of Santana. Nicely done on both ends. And the side retired. Second straight 3 up, 3 down inning for Miguel. Mid-third, no score. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Luna. For beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. There's the moon high over Camden Yards. No score. Each team with a base hit. Pitchers in command early on. What a beautiful day and night it was in Baltimore. Good day to have lunch outside.
I thought we were going to land on the moon right there.
That's about as close as you and I are going to get. Trevor May has allowed 1 hit. He has 3 strikeouts and 28 pitches to get through 2 innings.
That really hasn't shown the signs of that lack of command that he's had in some prior starts. Really driving the fastball down in the zone. We've seen a couple sneak by some of the Orioles hitters as well. Occasional changeup mixed in there, a couple sliders.
Caleb Joseph takes a strike. Caleb with the batting average at .230, and you've seen his last 17 games. Very good production.
And it took him a while to get that swing going.
High fly ball to left. He got under it. Jordan Schaefer looking up into the twilight. He's got it for the out. And one away in the Oriole third. Well, don't forget, tomorrow the Oriole Advocates will be holding their annual cardboard to leather collection at Oriole Park. Fans are encouraged to bring any new or slightly used baseball or softball equipment to any of the gates at Oriole Park prior to tomorrow night's game at 7:05 against Minnesota. And of course, the donations will be sent to underprivileged youth in developing countries. Financial donations are also accepted. For more information, just go online, oriolesreach.com. The youngster brought his glove to the game, hoping for a home run.
There's a good chance
on the flag court.
Yeah, good chance with this team.
Strike one to Jonathan Scope.
We were talking about Caleb Joseph. It took a little while for him to get his swing going. Well, Jonathan Scope kind of in the same boat. And he's had some flashes. Of course, the good power numbers there with the 12 home runs. A lot of clutch hits, but it's because of their defense that Buck Showalter continues to run them out there. And both players have played exceptionally behind the plate. There was a little bit of concern when Matt Wieters, a lot of concern when Matt Wieters went down. And Caleb Joseph and Nick Hundley have done an incredible job behind the plate. And now with Joseph's bat starting to come alive. Even in the middle of the infield, the start of the season, there were some question marks. But defensively, Scope and Ryan Flaherty have been playing Gold Glove caliber. I mean, they're rolling over double plays. And really looking good out there.
And now Steve Clevenger is back with the team. So the current roster with 3 active catchers. Nick Hundley was there with Steve. 1-2 on Scope. And a good cut foul back into the screen. Trevor May in the minor leagues, 147 games, 142 starts, 7 minor league seasons. He spent 2 full years, back-to-back years in Double-A, 2012 and 2013. Good take there by Scope. And as Mike mentioned, he was drafted by the Phillies and traded to Minnesota in the deal for Ben Revere. One of those trades where 2 minor league pitchers went back to Minnesota for a proven major league player. And the 2-2 is bounce foul.
Working Jonathan Scope pretty tough here, mixing up his pitches now. He's ahead. Breaking ball, spike in the dirt, and then good changeup right there. He saw it fade down and in. You see the pitch track. A couple of those fastballs in the zone. I think he's got a little extra life through the zone with that fastball.
When he came off speed and he gets a swinging strikeout, there's number 4 for Trevor May, and 2 away.
Doubled up with the change. One with some fade down and in. This one stays pretty straight, but throttles back at 83. You saw the grip there, the circle change. It looks like a fastball coming in, but quite a change of pace, taking about 9 or 10 miles an hour off.
Strikeout number 4 for Trevor May. Here's Nick Markakis, who flied out to left his first at bat. Nick 3 for 20 on the homestand. During batting practice today, Nick took batting practice with a flat bat, not a round bat as he's using here. The surface of the bat was flat. And I asked Jim Presley, I said, what is he hoping to accomplish by using a flat bat? And Jim said it forces you to stay down on the ball, because if you don't, you can't hit it because the surface is flat. And Nick was actually putting together some good swings, so obviously he feels that he's not swinging as he can.
Right. Well, Nick uses that flat bat to really kind of keep that bat path true through the strike zone at the point of contact. You can really, the flat bat is used as an immediate tell to what you're doing wrong. If you pop too many balls up with the flat bat, you're obviously getting underneath it. Roll too many over, you're not squaring it up. So he's trying to hit line drives and keep that bat head flat through the zone as long as possible. And that's what we've seen Nick Markakis do all season long.
Jimmy Paredes is on deck to pinch hit for Steve Pearce. I wonder what happened to Steve, maybe on that pop-up. He ended up sitting on the facade down the line there. And Markakis down on strikes as he swings through it. So what a start here for Trevor May. He's got 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. So Paredes will make his Orioles debut as we head to the 4th. Tag Masson fan photos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast, all brought to you by AT&T. Well, Jimmy Paredes stays in the game. He's now at third base, and Chris Davis, who was at third, moves back over to first with Steve Pearce out of the game. Now here's the final out of the top of the third. That ball hit by Danny Santana.
Now Steve Pearce showing some good range here. Nice backhand play. Plants gives a good feed to Miguel Gonzalez, but didn't look like anything happened there on that play. See, showing his range. Nice backhand. Strong feed over. Ran off looking fine.
And Paredes, who was just called up yesterday, makes his Orioles debut. He has seen some big league time this year with Kansas City. Ryan Dozier takes a strike on a breaking ball, and you never know how things are going to work out. Early this afternoon, about 3:15, Paredes and Ryan Flaherty were out doing early work at third base with Bobby Dickerson. And here he is in the game, not expecting to be in there, and he's in there in the 4th inning. Popped up, foul, Joseph, Paredes, and they run out of room. It's back in the ground.
And Paredes, some big league experience, parts of 4 seasons with Houston and the Royals, but introducing himself to Bobby Dickerson. Of course, Bobby's got some his own philosophies of how to play infield, especially third base, and try to teach him some of the skill sets that he's introduced to Ryan Flaherty, Manny Machado, Chris Davis. Make him a little build that foundation up.
0-2 on Dozier. And strike 3 call. Mike Winters rings him up. Dozier questions the call. Strikeout number 3 for Miguel, and 1 away.
And Dozier doesn't think this fastball came back. 2-seamer, 92 miles an hour. Looks like it caught the outside corner. Let's take a look from above. Boy, too close to take with 2 strikes. Gonzalez getting the call.
And we just get word Steve Pearce leaves the game with a right abdominal strain. And Paredes in place of Pearce. Here's Joe Mauer. He swings through it.
Joe Mauer not having the typical Joe Mauer season. Boy, has he put up some incredible numbers against the Orioles in his career. He's had 195, 196 plate appearances, hitting him at 340, 15 doubles, 5 homers, so big numbers against the Orioles.
The number 1 overall pick in the 2001 draft, and playing for his hometown team. There's Richie Bancells with Buck Showalter and John Russell. I guess after the examination and reporting the findings to the brain trust. So hopefully it won't be too serious for Steve. He's been so hot. Bounced to first. Chris Davis will go to the bag unassisted for the second out. 10 in a row retired by Miguel Gonzalez. Well, fans, on Sunday, come on out and help celebrate the holiday weekend with your family at Oriole Park. All kids 14 and under will receive the Manny Machado orange replica Oriole jerseys. Plus, after the game, they can wear the new gear while running the bases here at Camden Yards following that 135 game. So come on out and watch the O's as they battle for a division title and try to secure home field advantage in the playoffs. For your tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for a complete promotional schedule. Visit Orioles.com/promotions. It is a good night to be young and have ice cream with sprinkles on it and a nice Oriole bow in your hair. Oh, come on, Dad. It's my ice cream. Oh, I see. That guy's got to get in. She wasn't going to move.
No.
She was enjoying that ice cream too much.
They look good.
Kenneth Vargas, he popped up the shortest first at bat.
There are a lot of people making comparisons to David Ortiz. This Vargas, a young player, kind of a similar approach in the box, and certainly has a lot of power.
Miguel at 43 pitches as he works here in the fourth. Very pitch efficient. There's a base hit. Hit it against the shift. Jones trying to cut it off. And he will. Vargas will hold with a 2-out single. Just the second base hit for Minnesota. Yeah, Terry Ryan calls Vargas the switch hitting younger version of David Ortiz. Ryan, their GM. And Ryan says they're going to try as hard as they can to keep his weight at 270. He's listed at 275.
Wow, big kid. Pretty nice swing right there, though.
And Puerto Rico. Now, Chris Davis is a big guy.
Yeah, he is a big kid.
Wow. I mean, you and I were watching from up here as Vargas took batting practice, and he filled up the whole cage.
Right.
Here's Arcia, the right fielder. Knocking in with a fastball. Arcia struck out his first at bat, one of 3 strikeouts for Miguel. This is only the second career appearance for Miguel against the Minnesota Twins. And the other was on May the 4th when the Orioles played that 3-game weekend series at Target Field, and he took a loss. He lasted 4 2/3, 3 runs on 6 hits. And Minnesota won that game 5-2. So there's not a lot of head-to-head against Miguel with these Minnesota batters. And the first 3-0 count of the night for Miguel as he falls behind Arcia. It's only the 3rd batter that he is facing from the stretch.
Yeah, he's been throwing the ball really well. Good command of all of his pitches. Losing a little bit, trying to get back into the count here.
Foul off the mask of Caleb Joseph. Arcia rearing back in a big full cut, getting the green light on 3-0.
That almost took the full mask right off his head. Take a look at the foul ball. Squares him up in the forehead and lifts it nearly right off. Oh my gosh. There's some contact right there. You see the ball mark right on the forehead. Wow.
Yeah, look at that. 3-1 on Arcia. And a swing and a miss. So after 3-0, 3-2. And Caleb reminding the fielders that Davis is going to go behind the runner. Vargas will be off with the pitch. Full count with 2 men down. And the 3-2, and he got him. A swing and a miss. What a comeback for Miguel, down 3-0 in the count. Base hit, a man left, mid-4th. No score at Camden Yards. history is brought to you by University of Maryland, University College. Eddie Murray played for the Orioles 13 seasons, and in his 21 years in the majors, played in 2,413 games at first base, more than any player in baseball history. Eddie, a switch hitter, of course, one of 4 players with 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. He helped the Orioles win a World Series championship in 1983 and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2003. His 500 home run right here at Camden Yards into the bleachers in right center field. That seat is painted orange. And right now a fan is sitting in that seat.
That was great to see Eddie in the 60th anniversary celebration. He was a fan favorite. Crowd chanting Eddie when he came out on the field.
Now, Jimmy Paredes will make his O's debut at the plate. Took over for Steve Pearce. He's in the number 2 spot in the lineup. He's a switch hitter. And it's high 1-0. Mentioned he had some time with Kansas City in the big leagues this year, but not much. Just 9 games, 10 at bats. He was 2 for 10 with the Royals. And a base hit to right field at his Orioles debut. Well, Paredes is on with a single. It's only the second base hit for the Orioles on the night.
A pretty good piece of hitting here. A low fastball. He goes down and gets it. Ball is whistled past the first baseman. And a swing right there from Paredes.
Well, Worley now will have to go to the stretch, and we mentioned that when runners are on base, the batting average against him in his brief big league career balloons to .517. Orioles have just their second base runner, and the first time tonight they have the leadoff man on. Here's Adam Jones. Enjoys hitting against Minnesota pitching. And he looks over an off-speed pitch low. With the Minnesota Twins, their struggles are directly tied to their starting pitching. Their starters are 19 games below 500. They're 40 and 59 in their decisions. And the combined ERA is 5.02, and that hits Adam. And there's the lack of fastball command that took to the 4th inning, but we're seeing it here. So 2 on with none out.
Yeah, he's shown some pretty good command here in the early going. This fastball, he wants it inside, but not that far inside. Catching Adam Jones on the high thigh area, and now he's in trouble with runners at first and second. Ooh, squared him up good.
That is the first batter that Trevor May has hit since coming up, and the Orioles have a rally going here. First and second, nobody down. Heart of the lineup. Here's Nelson Cruz with Paredes at second and Jones at first. Good speed out there for the Orioles. Cruz, one of 5 strikeouts of Trevor May early on. And ball 1 inside. Cruz has 5 home runs, 13 RBIs in August. He has 12 home runs here at Camden Yards, 12 of his 34 at home. And it's high, ball 2. So the second time through the lineup here, the Orioles hoping to get to Trevor May. When I went in the Minnesota clubhouse before the game to get their lineup, May walked in right behind me, and forget it's his first time in all these ballparks. He's never been there. And I got the lineup and I was heading out to the field, and he was still walking around the clubhouse looking for his locker. First time in, he didn't know where they put him. And the only reason I knew that he was still looking for his locker is his locker was right by the exit to get to the dugout. He finally found it. Freddie Tyler set him up in there. But everything is new for the rookie.
Yeah, hard to keep all those emotions in check as a young player that gets an opportunity to play in the major league. Certainly a thrill, obviously, to pitch in a big league park, but then you come to Camden Yards and you're playing against the best team in the American League East. And a beautiful stadium here. So,
and that hits Cruz. And hopefully that did not get the hand. He appears to be in pain. Pierce is already left with an injury, and you hope Cruz is okay.
Looks like it caught him more up on the forearm.
Yeah. He's got a pad there, but it looked like it may have missed the pad.
Yeah, it went just below it.
So the bases are loaded.
Better there than in the hand or wrist area. You can tell how much it hurts.
And Richie and Buck still over there with Nelson. And the Orioles have the bases loaded, a base hit, and back-to-back hit batsmen.
When we talk about May's nerves, I want to try to harness those and control the nerves throughout the course of a big league ball game here. This certainly isn't going to help. Hitting Adam Jones and Nelson Cruz, and now bases loaded, nobody out.
So Nelson appears to be okay. He is DHing tonight, so when he leaves the field, he can go in and have that looked at. And here's Delmon Young with a big chance for the O's. Bases loaded, none down. He struck out his first at bat. Let's see if he expects May to go with a fastball on the first pitch and jump on it. Well, breaking ball low, and he lays off 1-0. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, went out to have a visit while Cruz was being attended to.
Yeah, for a few different reasons. Obviously to settle him down a little bit, and then go over the game plan, how he's going to try to get Delmon Young.
Bases loaded. And that's high, ball 2. So back-to-back off speed. And the young man, how do you learn at this level to get out of a jam? And he took a strike all the way, 2-1.
That was a good fastball there at the bottom of the zone. You talk about that. We've seen the Orioles grow through those type of situations over the past few years, and they've done a super job here the last few months of actually minimizing the damage in tough situations like this, about executing pitches, trusting your stuff.
Big swing and a miss there. Reluctant to throw the fastball after hitting Jones and Cruz on fastball. 4 consecutive off-speed pitches to Delmon Young.
Take a look at Delmon Young's power zone. Good plate coverage, down and in, up and away. Make mistakes in the heart of the plate, and he's been covering the baseball.
Well, from 2-0 to 2-2 on Young. And he got him. Another off-speed pitch. 5 consecutive off-speed pitches to get Young and 1 away.
Pretty good slider right there. And then take a look at the location where it ends up, down and on that outer third. Pretty good finish. Probably his best slider of the game. You see the rotation there. And it just bites down and away to get Young.
Strikeout number 6 for May. He struck out Young twice. And here's J.J. Hardy. Bases loaded now with 1 down. And a little bit low, 1-0.
And still hasn't thrown a fastball.
J.J. single to left field, his first at bat. His 5th hit on the homestand in 5 games. He's having a real good month of August. 248 average, 3 grand slams in his career. Orioles looking to get on the board first here in the 4th. Inside, ball 2. There's the fastball.
JJ's actually had a very consistent offensive year. We talked about the power numbers kind of being down, but still hitting his doubles. He's been using the whole field. He's been hitting for average all season long, but here in the month of August, he slid into home, ran into A.J. Pierzynski and jammed his thumb, kind of sprained it a little bit, and ended up having to make some adjustments. And you see his hand position a little bit higher than it has been, and that bat had kind of tilted forward, and he did that just for comfort initially, but now he really likes the approach. He feels like he's really getting down on the baseball and driving it. Sure enough, he's had a couple opposite field home runs.
Well, he's got 8 home runs on the year, and you see this month 4 of those 8 in the month of August with a very impressive batting average and 13 ribbies. Well, nowhere to put him. 3-0 on Hardy with the bases loaded and 1 down. And the May pitch is high, ball 4, and that forces in a run. Jimmy Paredes will come in to score. The Orioles grab a 1-0 lead.
A nice at bat there by J.J. Hardy. The pitcher doesn't have his command. You can be a little bit more patient. Take a look at this inning. 17 pitches, 12 balls, 5 strikes. Of course, 2 of those balls ended up hitting Adam Jones and Nelson Cruz.
Rick Anderson looking on from the Minnesota bench. Now here is Chris Davis. Struck out his first at bat on a 3-2 pitch. Upstairs with a fastball, 1-0. So Jones now at third, Cruz at second, Hardy at first. A run in and 1 down. There's a .315 average in his career, 3 grand slams. The bases loaded. Ball 2. He got Young on 5 consecutive off-speed pitches, including the slider for strike 3. He was reluctant to throw Hardy a fastball until after he fell behind 2-0. Samuel Denuno is now getting loose, one of the 8 relievers out there.
Early action, and that's been a big problem. His bullpen overused most of the season.
Davis swings through the fastball, 2-1.
That's a good one. Good one there. Drove that one downhill. First few innings of the ball game, he was really working the bottom part of the strike zone. This inning, he's losing the balls, a lot of balls up, so that front side flying open, overthrowing a little bit.
Ball 3. See, the other thing about making the adjustment to the major leagues, in the minor leagues, if you have a good arm, you can get by with stuff. Well, the hitters are not as accomplished as they are here, but in the major leagues with the batting eyes, you can't get by with just stuff. You have to pitch, you have to throw strikes.
Sure do. And if you're having command problems, they will wait you out. They can look for make 1 box, small box in their happy zone and just wait for that pitch.
High fly ball, deep right center field. Back it goes. It is good for Davis. There's a grand slam and a 5-0 lead. Jenna McGow, our Maryland Lottery contestant, has just won another $500 with an exclamation point.
Oh, yeah. Big grand slam. Making him pay. A couple hit batsmen on base on balls. And Chris Davis got his pitch in the happy zone.
His 24th home run and a 5-0 lead.
Let's take a look at Chris Davis's swing here. Fastball. He gets those arms extended down in the zone. Connection and liftoff. Look at that full extension through.
Caleb fouls it off. 1-1 the count. 106 miles an hour leaving the ballpark. Wow.
That's some thunder right there. And it looks effortless. When he gets that bat head going, though, he takes it to the baseball direct, and then that long finish creates a lot of acceleration.
Well, the Orioles tonight facing Trevor May, and for 3 innings Trevor May was sticking with Miguel Gonzalez, but it's all come apart here in the 4th. His command abandoned him, and the scouting report on him, good fastball, can't command it, and with runners on base the batting average is elevated, and that's exactly what happened here. The Orioles only have 2 hits in this inning, but 1 was a grand slam. And a swing and a miss. Caleb Joseph goes down on strikes. And the Orioles have had quite a bit of experience this year, Mike, in facing pitchers for the first time. as Trevor May pitching here tonight. This is the 25th different time they have seen a pitcher for the first time, and they've actually fared very well, going 12-12.
Yeah, I think they have very well, and a lot of this is attributed to the scouting department. They take a look at a young pitcher, they try to pull up all the reports, you know, from the minor leagues, try to get as much information as they can, and then they try to compare a young pitcher. And take a look how they compare to other teams. First time facing a starting pitcher. The Twins 15-7. They're the best. Nationals, Dodgers, but then look at the Astros.
Scope pulls it foul. 0-2 on Jonathan.
Teams that are having a hard time. Astros just 5-18. Red Sox 6-12, and the Rangers 7-15. So to come away with a .500 record against, you know, facing a pitcher for the first time is very respectable, but respectable.
And down on strikes goes Scope on the breaking ball, so the inning ends. But a very productive inning for the Orioles, highlighted by the Chris Davis grand slam as the Orioles grab the lead. For Davis, his 24th home run, and the Orioles break on top 5-0. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by Chapin Davis, providing investments that can produce income from your retirement plan. Call to learn more at 800-222-3246 or at chapindavis.com. Chris Davis with the big blow, a grand slam. A 1-0 game became a 5-0 game with one swing of the bat. So now Miguel Gonzalez with a nice lead. He's allowed only 2 base hits, both singles. Here's Plouffe, and there's ball 1.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez pitching very well to this point in the ball game. Now it's just a matter of stick with that game plan, keep executing. It's a good fastball command here in the early going.
So the Orioles' 5th grand slam of the year and 2nd for Chris Davis. And a very good pitch count for Miguel, very efficient. Trying to even his record at 7-7. Pop foul to Steve Pearce, who started the game at first base, has left with a right abdominal strain. And Pearce going into the stands, almost all the way into the stands to make that grab. Ended up on top of the facade, seated on top of the facade, and Miguel falls behind. 3-1 the count on Plouffe.
You have to be careful about those. He may have just felt something, and you hope, and for the Orioles' sake, that it's maybe just a little cramp that might go away in a couple days. But that can be a long time. I mean, if you pull your oblique or strain it, I've seen players miss an extended amount of playing time because of that. Paredes getting an opportunity because of the injury.
Miguel has struck out 4. He has not walked the batter. He's allowed 2 hits, both singles, through 4 shutout innings. And the 3-2 is swung on and lifted to right. Shallow. Stope is out. He'll take charge. He has the angle. And Jonathan has it at fair territory for the out. And one away in the Minnesota 5th. Well, those special 1994 jerseys and hats that the Orioles wore last Sunday as part of Wrigley Field's year-long centennial celebration have now been autographed, authenticated, and they've been placed for auction at Orioles.com/auction. The proceeds benefit the Baltimore Orioles Charitable Foundation. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of O's history. The bidding will close Sunday night at midnight. So place your bids now at Orioles.com/auction. Eduardo Escobar now. He'll take a strike with a breaking ball.
And now showing the ability to throw all of his pitches for strikes. Got ahead with a slider against Plouffe, and now here the breaking ball. Big curve.
Well, Minnesota has been scoring runs. Mentioned they won last night in Kansas City 11-5. And the 11 runs, it was their 3rd game in the last week in which they scored 10 or more runs. Ron Gardenhire's team all of a sudden just went on an offensive barrage. And that included beating the Tigers at home 20-6 to get it going on the 22nd. And then the next day they beat the Tigers 12-4.
Yeah, they scored over 40 runs in that series against the Tigers.
Weekly hit to first. Davis will go to the bag unassisted, and 2 outs here in the Minnesota 5th. So 3 times 10 or more runs in the last week. That is the most in Major League Baseball. No other team has more than 1. But it's all about the pitching.
Yeah, well, it's all about Miguel pitching right now. 61 pitches, very efficient. You're into the 5th inning, and he knows that this is a dangerous offense. Shoot, every offense in the major leagues is dangerous, so you have to execute. You have to have a good game plan, and right now Miguel and Caleb are working well together.
Eric Fryer, the backup catcher. Flied out to Markakis, his first at bat. And 1-1 the count. Well, the Orioles starters are now 7th in the league in ERA, but it's a respectable 3.88. And the starters now have 53 wins. They're 53-39. Chris Tillman, of course, leading in the long starts. He's got 11 starts of 7 or more innings, most on the team. Chris.
Yeah, another great year. Last year, of course, 16 wins on the season.
Ball 3 inside.
They've all really settled in. I think, you talk about the bullpen success, and of course the starting pitchers. Been kind of a work in progress, but they've really come into their own here over the last couple months. And you have to give Dave Wallace and Dom Chidi a lot of credit for that. They have a good mental approach, I think, to the pitchers. They communicate well. They earn their respect in spring training, actually in the offseason, and then into spring training. And they found a way to get the most out of all these arms.
3 lefties out there. Dom Chidi, T.J. McFarland, Zach Britton. So Miguel walks his first, comes with 2 down. Here's Jordan Schaefer, who flied out to left field on the first pitch he saw in the 3rd inning. Swings again at the first pitch and fouls it back.
Schaefer's one of those reasons why they've had a lot of offensive success here recently. He's riding an 8-game hitting streak. Hitting .444 with a few doubles. So he's been swinging the bat very well.
8-game hitting streak. He's playing very well since coming over to the Twins. And there's a base hit. So he's got a 9-game hitting streak. Fryer's going to go to 3rd. Markakis fires through, but it's cut off by Hardy. So after 2 outs, a walk, and now a single, And 2 on with 2 down for Minnesota. Schaefer extends his hitting streak to 9 straight.
Good piece of hitting right there. Of course, the hole opened up on the right side. Fryer at first base, and he works it through, and then good base running as well. Fryer seeing the pace of the ball, so he hustles on into third base.
So Fryer to third with Schaefer at first, and back to the top of the lineup for Danny Santana. He was flied out to left and grounded out to first. And play wide of the bag, gloved by Steve Pearce. He got it to Gonzalez for the out. You know, the Orioles, because of their hard work and their consistency building up that 7-game lead in the AL East, they have the benefit of being able to just go out and play their game, while the other teams, as the games continue to dwindle down and September comes, you know they're scoreboard watching. And in the division tonight, the Orioles are the only team playing out of the division. You have the Yankees playing in Toronto, and Boston's playing in Tampa. And the Blue Jays grabbed an early 1-0 lead on the Yankees, while Boston grabbed an early 8-1 lead at Tampa. So as they're playing at Rogers Center, and there's Pearce back on the bench, so maybe that's a good sign. Talking with Wayne Kirby.
Hopefully it won't be long.
0-2 the count at Santana. Doesn't chase the changeup.
Good block right there by Caleb Joseph. But have a lot of faith and trust in your catchers. Runner at third base. Throw that split finger down there and trust they're going to block it.
Fryer's at third, Schaefer at first. And 1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. He got him. Miguel gets his 5th strikeout. And that ends the inning. A hit, a walk, 2 left. Mid-5th. The Orioles have the lead. Well, everybody having a good time downtown tonight as the Orioles have a 5-0 lead coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. 5 runs in the 4th on just 2 base hits. The Jimmy Paredes single and the Chris Davis grand slam after a bases loaded walk to J.J. Hardy got the first run in. So May stays in the game.
Yeah, Orioles able to take advantage of some command issues. Just the 1 walk, but ended up hitting Jones and Cruz. And you give him too many opportunities, and this Orioles offense is loaded with power potential, and Chris Davis got the one for that long ball, the grand slam.
Here's Nick 0 for 2. He was flied out and struck out. Top of the lineup up here in the 5th. Paredes will follow, and then Jones. That's towards right center field. Long run back and past Santana for a base hit. And Nick is going to head to second base with a leadoff double.
Nick Markakis just smokes that ball. His 26th double of the season. And he just beat him. Slider. And he drops the head on it. This ball is whistled out there. Santana making the sharp pursuit angle, but it beats him deep. He ends up trying to catch up to it closer to the wall. Nice swing by Nick Markakis, and the flat bat work coming through.
Yeah, Jim Presley feels that's one of the best tools a hitter can use when they're trying to get their stroke back to where it should be, because you can't make a mistake or the ball doesn't go anywhere. That's right. The bat is flat.
It tells you immediately what you're doing wrong.
Paredes sharply hit foul. And in the round of batting practice, he was in a group with David Lowe and with Adam Jones. And the last round, they always play a home run derby to see who will win. And Nick had to, because he had the flat bat, he had to participate with the flat bat, and he actually hit one out with it, which is really tough to do. Oh, good changeup. And Deduno is back up. Second time Samuel's been up.
Well, Trevor May has made some good pitches in this ballgame. You can see why he was obviously brought up here in the big leagues. A good arm. When he drives that fastball down and throws that changeup off of that. And a couple good pitches there.
Paredes lays off the high fastball, so 1-2. The Orioles acquired Paredes because of his versatility. Buck Showalter loves having guys on the bench that can play multiple positions, and it really helps out that he's a switch hitter.
Oh yeah. Well, they've been in need of some more left-handed bats. That's why Clevenger was called up a little bit earlier. And for a long time, the regulars just Markakis and Davis in there.
Bouncer past the mound. That'll at least move up the runner. Dozier off balance throw, and he got him. What a play. But Paredes does his job. He advances the runner. So Nick is at third with one down, and he'll get high fives on the bench.
A nice at bat by Paredes to do his job, and a nice play by Dozier. Came up as a shortstop, showing his range and athleticism here. Ranging up the middle, the off balance throw, just a little flick over there. Showing a strong arm to get Paredes. Of course, all-star this year, and big offensive numbers to go along with that glove work.
So Minnesota trailing by 5 has to draw the infield in. Adam Jones, who was hit by a pitch and scored his last plate appearance, would love to get a base hit here and get back at Trevor May. Line drive, base hit left field for Jones. He jumps on the first pitch. Here's Markakis to score, and a 6-0 Oriole lead.
Adam Jones getting hit in the thigh with a fastball on his first at bat. Stays in on the slider. There is no flinch at all here. He just waits on it, gets that front foot down. I'll tell you what, May lucky that one was just a single. That was a pretty good swing right there by Adam Jones.
And now Adam looks small next to Vargas. There's Nelson Cruz, hit by a pitch and scored his last plate appearance. First ball swinging, fouls it off.
Good to see him take a healthy cut up there after taking the fastball off the left forearm.
Adam maybe giving some wisdom to Vargas. Tell you what, he's got a pretty good off-speed pitch. When he gets ahead, that's a really effective pitch for him.
He's thrown some good changeups in this game, and what we haven't seen a lot of, and you see the Nissan pitch track, like most pitchers, they're more effective if they work down in the zone, and then by design maybe work the top of the zone with a fastball.
Popped up, shallow right center. Charging in is Arcia. And the right fielder has it for the out. And 2 away here in the Oriole fifth. Here's our PNC minor league report, brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever and you. And here are the 3 position players that are going to the Arizona Fall League.
Yeah, last night we took a look at the pitchers that were going. Well, here's a look at the position players. Michael Wohlman was promoted to Double-A after a fine season in Single-A the year before at 238, but he's going to get a chance to go back to the Fall League. He was part of the championship team last season. His teammate was Dariel Alvarez, and he's getting another opportunity. Jason Esposito as well. Going to get some more repetitions in the Fall League. You see Jason Esposito, his numbers on the season: 265, the 8 home runs, 47 RBI, but he's really picked it up the second half of the season. I want to see a little bit more of him. Just 24 years old, of course, signed out of Vanderbilt, second-round pick, infielder, and then Dariel Alvarez, the monster numbers, splitting time between Bowie and Norfolk. A lot of those numbers, 14 of his home runs came in Bowie, but they love his swing, and great defender as well. Strong arm in the outfield. He's going to get more reps out there in Arizona.
1-1 on Delmon Young, who has struck out each of his 2 at-bats. Well, there's going to be a lot going on in September as Young hits it deep to left field. Towards the corner goes Schaefer, reaches up, and did he make the catch? No, it's gone. It's in the stands. That fan got it. There's a 2-run home run for Delmon Young. And Schaefer hit the wall hard, and he is down.
There's a long pause here in the whole stadium. Nobody knew if it was gone or not. And now we could go out on the warning track and see if Schaefer's okay. Quite an effort. Didn't know if the ball was in his glove or not. What a great swing by Delmon Young.
So Delmon Young hits his 7th, a 2-run shot.
Take a look, the fastball. Try setting up outside, but it leaks back over, and he just drops the head on it. Nice effort. And he'll get the assist. It tipped off his glove and then into the fans. Right off the thumb and into the fans' glove. Quite a collision, though, with that left field wall.
So Jenna Nagano from North Potomac, another $500. And the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game home run contest. And Gardenhire out there with the trainer.
You see why they're checking him out here. Delmon Young swing, and then full speed, making the effort, and then you just stop. Oh, there's some padding on that wall. You're running as hard as he was. That'll shake you up a little bit.
You know, Delmon with a 2-run shot. It's a 3-run inning and an 8-0 Oriole lead. So the Orioles doing it again, Mike. They have 8 runs. 6 have been driven in by the home run. It's their 50th multi-home run game of the year.
That's what they do.
I think Ron Gardenhire is maybe going to see if they'll look at this home run. The fan appeared to be reaching over the wall. Now, it wouldn't have been an out because the ball went off the glove, but they may say that that's interference and it should be a double. So after all that, making sure his player was okay, they request that it's looked at. And there is a possibility this home run is going to be overturned. That fan did appear to reach over the wall. So Mark Wegner and Mike Winters will get on the headsets. So this is a crew chief review. This is not a challenge. Crew chief review on whether or not this is in fact a home run. Let's see where the fan catches the ball. He reaches over and
inconclusive.
You're learning the lingo. I don't know. I think they're going to change this. I think they're going to make Delmon Young go to second base. Even though Schaefer didn't catch it, he flat out missed it, and the ball deflected in the glove. Now, if the glove isn't there, it might have gone over the wall.
Right, that's the thing. How can you say that this deflection off the thumb of his glove doesn't prevent it from kicking over? And you can't tell because the other kid's glove is right there, and it doesn't appear to be actual interference.
Well, not interference with the player, but you are not permitted to reach over into the field of play.
Take the ball.
So the crew chief review listening in to New York. Mike Winters on the left, Mark Wegner on the right. And Delmon wondering if he in fact has a home run. Schaefer gave it a good effort.
Boy, that was a great effort.
Buck has had his share of challenges go against the O's on the year. You see that hand is clearly in fair territory, and they're going to say home run. So it's inconclusive, and Mike Winters will explain to Ron Gardenhire why they allowed the home run to stand.
Ron Gardenhire arguing in the review here.
Looked like he said, "I'm just saying, Mike, the hand was over the wall."
Right. Because, you know, he went in and looked at the review as well. Gardenhire wants to talk to New York like Buck Showalter did the other day.
And now, after all that, he's going to go get his pitcher. So the home run stands, a 2-run shot. It's a 3-run inning. Schaefer gave it a good effort. And here comes Samuel Deduno. Our call to the bullpen brought to you by M&T Bank. When Baltimore succeeds, we all succeed. Deduno coming on for Minnesota.
Up that 2-run home run to Delmon Young. Take a look at his pitch arsenal comparison. 52% fastballs tonight on the season at 60%, but a lot of change-ups really trying to offset the timing of the Orioles, but they were on him. His command wasn't quite there. Did have the 1 walk, but 2 hit batters and 2 home runs. 1 a grand slam and 1 that 2-run shot by Young. Take a look at Deduno's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball at 67%. Breaking ball has the curve and slider and the change at 5%. 29 games, 2-5 record, 4.62 earned run average. Deduno's seen a lot of work. There's been a lot of problems with the starters this season. He's actually made some spot starts. Opponents hitting .265. Has given up the 9 home runs.
Fools Hardy on that pitch, and it's 0-2. Well, Deduno is a former starter for Minnesota, so he certainly can be stretched out. Last year in 18 games, he made 18 starts for the Twins. Ahead of Hardy, 0-2, who has singled and walked with the bases loaded for an RBI. The Minnesota bullpen actually has had a pretty good year, and Mike, as you mentioned, that they have certainly been worked. But they have 19 wins, and their ERA combined is 3.53. Now, that's only 9th in the American League, but when your team pitching is second to last, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
1-2 on Hardy. And a breaking ball called strike 3. Winters thought about it and then decided he liked it. So the inning ends, and the Orioles add to their lead. They chase Trevor May. Delmon Young with a 2-run shot, his 7th on the year, and the Orioles enjoy an 8-0 lead. The Big Ten Conference. Visit umterps.com for tickets. The Terps, newest members of the Big Ten, they'll begin their football season tomorrow against James Madison at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium. Terps have done pretty well recently. 4 straight season opening wins, and wins in 9 of their last 10. And they've won 10 straight season openers at home at Byrd Stadium. So good luck to the Terps this season as they begin a new venture in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, good luck to the Terps. I just dropped my son off at James Madison University, so who do I root for?
Well, you're spending some money at James Madison.
Yeah, but I've always cheered for Maryland, so
I think you probably root for the Terps. Is your son on the football team?
No.
Then you root for the Terps. And then you tell your son, hey, that's a tough one, son. Ryan Dozier leading off. Maurer and Vargas will follow against Miguel. He's pitched a fine game through 5 innings, just 3 base hits and 1 walk.
Miguel's been very sharp since the All-Star break. Like most of the starters, very consistent.
High fly ball to right. Markakis will settle under it. And he's got it for the out and one away here in the Minnesota 6th. Now, fans, on Labor Day coming up on Monday, first 25,000 fans, 15 and over at that 135 game against Minnesota, will receive an Adam Jones bobblehead. Come on out and spend your holiday with family and friends at Oriole Park as the Birds push towards the division title. Every game matters. Tickets are going fast for the holidays, so get your tickets now, Orioles.com, or call 888-848-BIRD for a complete promotional schedule. Get online, Orioles.com/promotions. Orioles in their Friday night black alternate jerseys tonight. And I love the team socks that Adam Jones has been wearing with the orange stripes on them. That is a really good looking look. Black and orange, head to toe.
What is he doing?
He's talking to Wayne Kirby. Every inning between pitches, he talks to Kirby on the bench. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's good.
And there's a strike taken.
Well, it just shows you. I mean, players are taught to look in the dugout, you know, just in case you have to be positioned.
Now he's shooting arrows at him.
Oh, goodness.
What was that about tension in a pennant race? Let's hit towards Hardy. He'll play the hop. And now we're retired and 2 away. Well, as promised earlier in the game, here's our AT&T's fan photo. Oh, my goodness, how cute. That is just wonderful. Had to be baby's first game, right?
Had to be.
And the baby's like, where's my snack?
And then they grow up.
And then they're here as youngsters. Got a foul ball. Playing video games. Borrowed mom's phone. Oh, it's okay, sweetie. Oh, it's okay. Here's a strike to Vargas. Kenneth Vargas is 1 out of 2. He's singled. His last at bat sharply to left center field. Up and in, 1-1. Miguel has got to be just absolutely thrilled with 8 runs on the board for him. In his last 4 starts, the Orioles scored a total of 6 runs in those 4 starts. Looked like the splitter there, that downward movement, and a swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a nasty one. I mean, so effective against lefties because it has that late fade. And you see the pitch track was painting the first one on the inside corner, but then rides one up and in and opens up that outside corner with that late movement.
Vargas out of Puerto Rico. Made his major league debut on August the 1st.
Trying to follow the same sequence there.
That's pretty good. That pitch got all the way past Caleb, hit the facade behind home plate, bounced right back to him, and he caught it. 3-2 on Vargas with 2 outs and nobody on. Miguel looking for his 3rd 3-up 3-down inning. Down the line, that ball's trouble. There's Scope. He reaches up and makes the catch. Oh, a lunging grab by Scope. So the shift pays off, and Jonathan Scope takes the base hit away from Vargas. That would have been a base hit, a little ice cream cone on the top, and Jonathan Scope hangs with it.
Trevor May was cruising through 3, but in the 4th inning, Paredes, his first hit as an Oriole, and then May loses command. He hits Jones, then he hits Cruz. But Showalter upset about that, but Chris Davis makes him pay with the bases loaded. It's a grand slam. Davis's bat heating up, creating some distance against the Twins. Take a look at the pitching matchup here. Trevor May, early exit lasting just 4 2/3, 8 earned runs. Miguel Gonzalez has been solid, very efficient. 6 innings, just 3 hits allowed. Remember, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, strike 1 taken by Chris, who hit a grand slam his last at bat. The Orioles' 5th on the year and his 2nd. Orioles have 2 home runs in this game, driving in 6 of the 8 runs, and that's what this team is all about. And you know what, Mike? That's okay because they continue to hit them. Their 172nd home run was the home run hit by Delmon Young. They're trying to become 65-28 when they hit a home run. They're 64-28 coming in. And they also have 59 wins when they score 4 more runs, and they have 8 on the board here tonight. As moments ago, coming in from the outfield, Adam Jones and Wayne Kirby continuing their conversation. And Wayne imitating what Adam did. Adam didn't agree. I don't look like that. And then Wayne went out to first base. Just outside, breaking ball, ball 3. So 3-1 on Chris, leading off in the 6th.
We talk about how this team has stayed resilient and confident and not letting anything get them down, whether it be a couple games or 3 games lost or even 1. They stay at the same level, and Adam Jones a big reason for that. You saw him messing around with Wayne Kirby, and really it starts at the top. I mean, Buck Showalter and his coaching staff bring great energy every day. They have the same demeanor, they have the same type of work ethic, and their preparation is right on time. And then it's handed down to the players, and Buck Showalter has a great group of veteran players that really carry that torch well. I mean, they bring their game every day. They're all locked in on their preparation, and so there aren't a lot of highs and lows.
And there's a leadoff walk. So Chris Davis will head to first. He's been on base twice. Here's our Krieger Eye Institute Orioles upcoming schedule. From routine to the most specialized eye care, LifeBridge Health's Krieger Eye Institute handles it all. Call 410-601-2020. Well, tomorrow a night game against Minnesota, and then back-to-back day games Sunday and then Labor Day on Monday. Then Cincinnati comes to town for a 3-game interleague series. Night games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to close out the homestand. There's Caleb Joseph with Davis on at first, and there's a strike. Caleb has flied out, and he has struck out. Now this is actually a rare night where the Orioles have a comfortable lead of 8-0. Usually, and we talked about it in our open tonight, about the catchphrase that has caught on this year, grind it out. Ball gets away from Fryer, and Davis is going to get to second.
Good
read
right
a wild
there,
pitch sends him to second base.
I was talking to somebody about Chris Davis and how he's doing when he moved over to third base, and I said, well, he's a great athlete. And here's another sign, a good read, but look at the speed of the big guy getting down there uncontested.
So Chris in scoring position with nobody down for Joseph. 1-1 the count on Caleb. And breaking ball that bends back in for a strike, so 1-2. But remember in 2012 when the Orioles began their surge from August 1st on, they were as good as any team, and they made the wild card playoff that year and then went to the divisional round. The phrase that year was buckle up. Well, this year, because they talk about it all the time, it's grind it out, as they did last night, grinding out that 5-4 win, do whatever it takes. And the other thing, as Caleb fouls it off, and this in part goes to the philosophy of Buck and his coaches, J.J. Hardy mentioned it after the game last night. He was asked about the importance of getting the win. He said, well, it's important because we won the series. But now everybody can stop talking about that we lost 3 in a row in Chicago. The players had forgotten about it.
Right.
But everybody else was talking about it. But for the players, when they showed up Monday, it was Monday. It wasn't, oh, my goodness, we just lost 3 in a row. Yeah. And that attitude really helps this team. Nice scoop there by Fryer. And I asked Buck in his pregame today if this grind it out mentality helps the team, because it seems day in and day out they're in those kind of games. And he said, you know what, absolutely, because they never feel that the sky is falling because they've done it so many times. Last night they fell behind 2-0 in the first. They come right back and tie the game. And there's something to that where you've done it before where it carries over. And a swing and a foul. So Joseph has life.
Well, it definitely does. The experiences that players have, and especially a group that's been together now for 3 years through a lot of winning baseball, you learn how to go through the good times and the bad times together. But, a lot of teams, they strive for that. They try to find that type of consistency and that even high level of play, and the ability to shake off tough losses or even big wins, to just have your level of play consistent and at a high level. And it really boils down to the players and them all buying in and becoming, having that good chemistry, that good mix. Every day they step into the clubhouse, there isn't somebody that's hanging their head or down. They're all positive all the time. They support each other. If a guy's struggling, guys talk about it. You've seen the pitchers all come together. The starting pitchers are always sitting together talking about watching the other starter, maybe what they're going to do in their next start against the same team. So there's a great deal of communication, obviously with the coaching staff, but with the players. They all have the same common goal. It isn't about putting up these certain numbers. It's about playing together. Sure, this team is full of heroes. Every night it seems like it's a different hero, but I think there are more collective team wins than just individual players.
Joseph goes down on strikes for the first out, so Danuno finally gets him. When you go back to May 31st, Mike, the Orioles were in Houston, game 3 of a 4-game series, and they were a game below 500 on that day. Here's what they've done since then. Tied with the Angels for the most wins in all of Major League Baseball, not just the American League.
Yeah, pretty amazing record at 50-29. That's tied for first with the Angels. And of course, Nationals, Royals, and Dodgers, pretty impressive records themselves. But for the first couple months of the season, I think the Orioles were just trying to keep their heads above water. They were waiting for the starting rotation to get more consistent. They wanted that bullpen to really try to find their identity, but they were being overused early on. And even the offense was showing some inconsistencies. They weren't hitting the home runs. But then all of a sudden the offense started heating up, and slowly but surely the pitching started to come around. And I think that month of June is when really things started happening. The pitchers were pitching much better. The starters.
There's a line drive to center field. The diving try by Santana that gets by him. Davis will score. Schoop is flying to second base, and he is safe for the head-first slide. There's a hustle double and an RBI for Schoop, and it's 9-0 O's.
A big hit there for Jonathan Schoop. Getting on top of the fastball. Chris Davis got out there. He read this one off the bat. See it spinning at the top of the zone. And a nice diving effort out there by Santana in center field. But Davis was already around at third base. And Jonathan Schoop was hustling on into second.
For a 9-0 Oriole lead. Jonathan's 17th double, picks up his 38th RBI. And here is Markakis. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Now the Orioles played 500 ball in April, 500 ball in May, and they were only 4 above in June, but they got above. And then they survived that road trip where they went through Milwaukee, Houston, and then Texas, and won the 2 of 3 in Texas to end the trip on a good note. And since then they've been really very, very consistent. In fact, since that series in Texas, they've gone 19-5 with 2 splits in their series.
Yeah, they've been playing great baseball, and it's everybody's contributing. Getting great starting. The bullpen's been phenomenal. Their offense has been more consistent.
2-1 on Markakis, who doubled and scored in the 5th, 1 out of 3. Danuno on a relief. Got the final out of the 5th, but has allowed a run here in the 6th. And a good takedown low. And 3-1 on Markakis.
This is a nice way for the Orioles here, putting up some numbers early on in this ball game. 9 runs already, but the Twins really played the Orioles tough, or have. Coming into this series, they had 2 wins against the Orioles.
Towards the middle, there's the shortstop Escobar. He'll get Markakis for the second out, as heading to third is Schoop. And here is Jimmy Paredes, who was in the spot vacated by Steve Pearce, who had an eventful early part of the game as he went up and grabbed that pop-up off the bat of Plouffe. And then batting, he grounded out to third. Might have been on the swing and might have been on this play. The strained abdominal muscle. And he came out of the game after the top of the third, and here's what he's done since August 17th.
Yeah, he has just been on fire. 5 home runs. That's tied for first in all of Major League Baseball. 10 extra base hits. That's first as well. I mean, incredible production from Steve Pearce. And when he got his opportunity to play, he didn't want to look back. And Buck Showalter can't get him out of the lineup. So he's been everyday first baseman. He's been in left field as well. And he came into this game with that 11-game hit streak. And we saw the 10 extra base hits, 5 doubles, 5 homers.
Well, with those numbers and that consistency, of course, the hope is that he won't be out for long. And it was a good sign to see him back out on the bench after he was examined and I'm sure treated.
We can talk volumes again just about this team's resiliency. You think about some of the players that the Orioles have lost. They didn't start the season with Manny Machado. Matt Wieters was lost for the season with the Tommy John surgery. J.J. Hardy missed some time early in the season. Chris Davis was on the disabled list, so they've lost some key pieces for a while. And the players they've plugged in have done a great job.
Paredes, a patient at bat, works the count to 3-1. Singled in the fourth, grounded out in the fifth. Scope at third with 2 down, a run in, 9-0 O's. First of 4 against the Twins. And that's outside ball 4, and Denuno thought he was squeezed there. So first and third with 2 men down. Well, today is part of the Orioles in the community, a group of Oriole wives, including Maria Wieters, Jenna Brock, and Lisa Guth, helped to revitalize the Baltimore neighborhood, participating in the demolition and rebuild of a Baltimore home. Chesapeake's Baltimore Women Build Project, supported by Lake Mason, an initiative of Habitat for Humanity International. It aims to empower women to take action against poverty and housing in their local communities. A great cause and a great project, and well attended by the Orioles wives. Adam Jones, runners on the corners and 2 down. And a swing and a miss.
Adam had one thought right there. That was just to jump on a fastball. Unfortunately, it was a breaking ball. So
I hate when that happens.
Right? You sell out on one pitch, and hey, you got to do that sometimes. You lose your aggressiveness. At least he wasn't in between.
Is he ever?
No. No.
RBI single his last at bat. He has scored 2 runs. And foul off his foot, another off-speed pitch.
Take a look at Adam Jones. Most games with 2 or more hits and a run scored. Adam Jones leading the way with 40 on the year. Jose Altuve, who's having a monster year with Houston, 39. Cabrera, Kinsler, and Hunter Pence on that list. So Adam Jones heads a list of some pretty big names there. Pretty impactful offensive players. Of course, Adam Jones, 156 hits now on the season. Up over 75 runs, 76 runs. Leads the team in that category.
Strike 3 call, fastball in the inside corner, so he set him up with breaking balls, and he gets him on the fastball. O's add a run on the double by Scope. We're through 6 at Camden Yards at a 9-0 Oriole lead. Orioles with a 9-0 lead, and welcome inside our booth. Jim Hunter with Mike Bordick, and it's been one of those games where everything is going the O's ways. It starts with Miguel, outstanding starting pitching, but big explosions, a couple of home runs, and for once, a nice, comfortable lead.
Yeah, well, this Orioles offense, very dangerous, and it's nice to see the pitching and the offense working together, and really that's what they've done the past month anyway. I mean, getting great starting pitching. Miguel Gonzalez, another solid performance, coming into this ball game. 6 of his last 7 starts were quality starts, so he's backing it up once again. And the Orioles offense giving him a big number of support here, 9 runs.
So Miguel goes to work here in the 7th. Here's Arcia, and he'll take high 1-0. Arcia, Plouffe, and Escobar. And there's an off-speed pitch for a strike.
Miguel really looking like he can do what he wants, anything he wants with the baseball right now. Looks like they have a good game plan. Caleb Joseph setting up some pitches. They're doubling up with a nasty split finger down and away. A good ability against the lefties that he's faced to ride that fastball in. He's thrown some occasional sliders in there. It's 87 pitches to this point.
And the count evens 2-2. Miguel has allowed just 3 base hits in this game. All 3 are singles. Check swing, foul tip. And held by Caleb Joseph. That's a strikeout. So Arcia has struck out 3 times. That's number 6 for Miguel.
And all 3 times on the high fastball as well. Now he saw a couple split fingers in this at bat, but that's the go-to spot. And once again, he cannot hold up. Take a look at the Jeep inside the numbers. Highest quality start percentage. Pat Dobson leading the way back to 71-72 with 71.2%. But there's Miguel Gonzalez, 65.1%. of his starts are quality starts. And another nice little roll here.
Well, he's certainly done that this year as Plouffe swings through it. Miguel looking for his first win since August the 7th, but he certainly pitched well enough to win since then. In 10 starts since June the 17th, he's only 3-3, but his ERA is 3.36. He was talking with Dean Albany, one of the Orioles' top scouts, before the game. He was on the bench, and we're talking about scouting and finds, and Miguel is a perfect example of that. Fred Ferreira, one of the first hires by Dan Duquette, was watching the Caribbean World Series, and Miguel was pitching for Mexico looking for a job, and the Orioles signed him for organizational depth. Wasn't even at the Major League camp in 2012, and look what he's become.
Yeah, pretty incredible story. Those arms are out there. It does take some work and sometimes some risk.
Popped up, slicing down the right field line. Davis over near the stands, reaches up, and I think he has it. No, it popped out of his glove. And there's a souvenir for a fan. If the tarp wasn't there, he might have held on.
Yeah, getting a little close to the wall over there, and just in front of the tarp, tries to reach out over before crashing into it with his knee. So pulled up just short enough and thought the extension could get it, and just out of his reach.
2-2 on Plouffe. And bounce to third. That's foul.
What was the most impressive thing, I think, ever since Miguel Gonzalez has had his opportunity to pitch with the Baltimore Orioles, is really his composure on the mound. I mean, he never seems fazed by any type of situation. He has to stick with his game plan, and that's what Buck Showalter loves about him. I mean, he doesn't get fazed, shaken up, just unflappable.
And the 3-2 is ripped to left field, and that ball's going to go. Delmon Young will turn and watch it get out of here. So Trevor Plouffe hits it out. That's his 11th. And there goes the shutout. It's 9-1 Orioles. Well, he had to come in, and Plouffe was sitting on it and didn't miss it.
And Trevor Plouffe, 11 home runs to go along with his 38 doubles on the season. And Miguel Gonzalez falls behind. And here the pitch just elevated in the zone. And he gears up on the 3-2 count and reaches out, catches it out front, and carries that over that left field wall.
22nd home run allowed by Miguel. Comes with the bases empty. There's a bouncer to second. And Scope gets him at first for the second out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Ryan Mattis now getting loose for the O's. And strike one taken by Fryer.
Good two-seamers. Miguel nearing 100 pitches. They're right at 99 right now. See his breakdown, 69% fastballs. That's true to form. Good command of that pitch throughout the ball game. That slider's been money as well. Staying nice and short. Has worked it in and under the hands of the lefties, and they're trying to paint the corner on Fryer, just missing off the outside corner.
And strike two on the outside corner. He's got 6 strikeouts. He's walked only 1 and has allowed 1 run on 4 hits. Let's see his pitches by innings. Only the 5th inning when he threw 22. When he faced 5 batters was the pitch count up there. Others would love to average 15 per inning. That gets you 105 through 7, and he's right on that. Bounce to Hardy, charges to play the hop. Throws low and scooped on the back end by Davis. So the Twins get a run. 7th inning stretch. Our Honda do-ups: Cruz, Young, and Hardy. Miguel Gonzalez, likely done for the night, pitches a gem as he heads to the bench with a 9-1 lead at Camden Yards. Some pregame chatter about a possible contract extension for Nelson Cruz. Of course, he's here on a 1-year deal. Here's our Antwerpen quote of the day. Nelson said, "Well, right now, nothing serious, just talking. I don't want to create a distraction for me or the team. Right now, we're in a race. We'd like to keep it like that. Stay focused on what is important for me and the team, and that is to focus on the race." As he told MASNsports.com and some of the other reporters who follow the team, our Antwerpen quote of the day: visit our new Route 32 Clarksville facility. All month long will beat any competing offer on your trade-in, so hurry in today to Antwerpen. Why wouldn't you want to re-sign him?
Yeah, there's a lot of Orioles that are deserving of extensions. And Nelson Cruz came over as a bargain and really paying dividends here. I mean, unbelievable. I think he came over to the Orioles, obviously seeing the opportunity, potentially going back to the postseason with a team that's had success the last couple years. But playing with a chip on his shoulder, maybe trying to prove everybody wrong for not signing him to a multi-year deal. And all he's doing is leading all of Major League Baseball with his 34 home runs.
Well, this is a great city to play in. Fouled off 2-2. And I think when players come here as visitors, they enjoy playing at the ballpark. But when you get a chance to play for the Orioles and you get to experience the community downtown, the suburbs, wherever you decide to live, it really is a wonderful place to live. And even if they only live here during the season, they certainly enjoy it. And he's down on strikes. So DeNuno picks up his 4th strikeout on a relief. And one away here in the 7th. Here's our Lexus of Towson drive of the game. Belongs to Delmon Young, his last at bat.
Delmon Young got on the fastball. 88 miles an hour, but that shows you how strong he is. A pretty good effort by their left fielder there as he crashes into the wall. But Delmon Young staying hot.
Drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 Lexus dealer. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. Delmon 1 out of 3, the 2-run home run and a couple of strikeouts. Sharply hit the right at second. There's Dozier. And 2 down in the Orioles 7th. Well, DeNuno doing exactly what he needs to do for Ron Gardner. Miguel Gonzalez talking it over with Chris Tillman.
That's what it's all about. The communication we were talking about. Ryan Mattis still getting loose out in the pen there. And Chris Tillman talking with Miguel about the lineup, how he went through, and probably the pitches he used. Now they all have their own scouting reports, but what a better way than right after Gonzalez comes out of a ball game, how he went through this lineup.
Well, Buck was talking about that before the game, about the turnover on this Twins team, and he said it was extra work to get ready for this team with the scouting reports. He said when he got here to the ballpark today, and we all have the perception because it's true that Buck is always first, Dave Wallace and Dom Cheedy were already breaking down video of the hitters to show their pitchers. And Hardy goes down on strikes. Another real good breaking ball by DeNuno. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll head to the 8th. Miguel Gonzalez, his night is done, and the Orioles enjoy the lead.
Start. He had it all working tonight, but it was the fastball command that really set him apart here. Fastball into Mauer to strike out. High fastball. Get Arcia. Dozier frozen on the fastball away. Arcia's second time tonight. Then Santana chasing up and in. Well, why not go for the hat trick? And he gets it. Arcia. 3 strikeouts against Gonzalez. Another good outing. 7 strong innings. Just 4 hits allowed. 1 earned run. 6 strikeouts. Take a look at his pitch arsenal tonight. 69% fastballs. That's how confident he was in that pitch. 56% on the year. Breaking ball was down, and the changeup number down as well. So really relied heavily on moving that fastball around the zone. And now it's time for the Jiffy Lube pitching change. This pitching change should be quick, just like a Jiffy Lube signature service oil change. At Jiffy Lube, they get you in and out fast, and you never need an appointment. Well, Brian Mattis, coming out of the Orioles bullpen, uses fastball at 55%, breaking ball 34% of the time, and the change 11% of the time. See the numbers on the year. 3.92 earned run average continues to come down. He has been red hot since the beginning of July. Opponents hitting just 266 off him. And since July 3rd, 18 appearances, his earned run average at 1.29. So Mattis a big part of the success of this Orioles bullpen as well. Pitched his last outing on Sunday against the Cubs. 1 inning with a strikeout.
And he gets ahead of Jordan Schaefer. Pop foul out of play, and it's 0-2. David Lowe now defensively replacing Delmon Young, as he has been doing as of late.
And Brian Mattis, when he started that real good turnaround at the beginning of July, he had approached Dom Chidi and just wanted to find out what he saw. He didn't feel like his fastball was exploding out of his hand. He didn't have that good life on a breaking ball. That one certainly did. Beautiful breaking ball there to get Schaefer. Let's take a look at it here. A high leg kick and then driving it down and away. And that's a plus off-speed pitch from Mattis, but Dom Chidi helped him a little bit with just his athleticism on the mound. He said he's really started to use his legs more. He feels more confident in not using all arm. He has strong legs. He works out all the time, you know, with the rest of the crew in there, and you know, using the legs saves your arm, and we've seen the consistent velocity hold up and better bite on his off-speed pitches.
Santana's 0 for 3, now batting right-handed against Mattis. Now there's Caleb Thielbar, one of the 3 left-handers. 1-1 the count on Santana. Softly hit to shallow center field. Adam Jones a long run, but it hangs up long enough for Scope. So 2 quick outs. Well, the Orioles bullpen certainly, Mike, has become a force, and what you like is they've improved month by month as the season has gone on, including the best ERA in all of Major League Baseball in August.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Now, we talked about that slow start. A lot of it had to do with, you know, the starting pitchers not getting deep enough, and they were really overused. And you see their earned run average, though, it's consistently come down. Well, add Andrew Miller, and that's some maturity. Brad Brock really finding himself. Darren O'Day, another monster year. Zach Britton has settled in and become one of the best closers in the game. I mean, everybody is really stepping up and having unbelievable years out there. See the O's pen the last 12 games, a .99 earned run average. I mean, it's just impressive. I mean, every arm that comes in is quality.
And I think you give Dave Wallace and Dom Chidi a lot of credit for this. When they came in, they didn't go to the pitchers and say, we're in charge now, this is how we want you to do it, we've been there, we're veterans. They instead did the opposite. They backed off. How can we help you? What do you do better? Because in reality, Mike, and you know, you were down there, it's all about the players.
Sure.
They can be coached, they can be guided, but once the game starts, they go over those white lines. It's all about them. So that's just an outstanding approach. No ego involved. It's all about what can we do to help you be the best Brian Mattis or the best Miguel Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And what a tremendous approach. And to a man, you could see the effect as the year has gone on. The closer they get to those guys, the more they trust their judgment, the more they trust their advice, and they've improved. There's a bouncer wide of third. Paredes guns it across, and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Brian Mattis. Nicely done on a strikeout, pop-up, and a ground out. Mid-8th at Camden Yards, 9-1-0s. The game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And Miller time on one swing of the bat. Chris Davis in the 4th inning, a grand slam, and that gave the Orioles a 5-0 lead. His 2nd grand slam of the season and his 24th home run. Yep, that sure was Miller time. 9-1 game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And a new pitcher, Caleb Thielbar, comes on.
Now let's take a look at his pitch arsenal. Fastball at 64%, throws at 88 to 92 miles an hour. The breaking ball at 31% of the time. Has the curve and slider, and the change just 5%. Take a look at his numbers on the year. 3.38 earned run average, 42 and 2/3 innings of work, has the 29 strikeouts and 10 walks. Opponents hitting .280, just 3 home runs allowed this season. Lefties at .284 and the righties at .274. And you see his last appearance against the Tigers. 1 inning of work, gave up a couple hits, didn't allow a run across the plate.
Well, he's a native of Northfield, Minnesota, now lives in Brookings, South Dakota. He loves that cold weather. And here's Chris leading off. Joseph and Scope will follow. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
That's a pretty good breaking ball right there.
Thielbar was drafted by Milwaukee. That was in 2009. And he was released by Milwaukee following the 2010 season. So he lasted just 2 years in the low minors. And then he pitched for the St. Paul Saints in St. Paul, Minnesota in the Independent League. And that's where the Twins scouted him. Off the end of the bat, shallow left center field. And coming on is Schaefer with a running catch. Oh, what a play by Schaefer. Takes a base hit away from Chris Davis.
Well, he was fearless in his attempt to rob Delmon Young against the left field wall. Well, here, no wall to get in his way. Quite an effort. He hit off the end of the bat. He is not even in the picture. Here he comes. Great closing speed. Look at the shoestring grab. Nice defensive play right there by Schaefer. See the concentration, reaching out on the backhand on that final step. That's a pretty nice play.
And then able to turn the hand so he didn't land on his wrist. Caleb pitches down and away to Caleb. 1-0. 0 for 3 for Joseph. 2 strikeouts and a flyout. High fly ball center field, chasing Santana. Curving back for him. And he's got it on the warning track for the out. With 2 men down. Let's get a look at our East wins, our AL East news and notes. The Yankees lead the Blue Jays 5-3. They had a 5-run top of the 7th to get the lead. Gardner has an RBI double. Capuano, another strong start for the Yankees. Now the Red Sox in Tampa leading the Rays 8-3 in the 6th. Cespedes 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs. And Betts a grand slam for Boston. They had a 3-run first and a 5-run second for their 8-run lead. Of course, the Yankees began the day 7 games back. Toronto 9.5 games back. Tampa Bay 12 back. And Boston 18.5 out in last place. The Yankees are 3 back in the wild card. There's a bouncer towards third. Big hop there for Plouffe. And Scope is retired in a 3-up, 3-down inning for Thielbar. Mattis going back to work. We head to the 9th. The O's 3 outs away from a win. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by visitannapolis.org. Find it here. Well, how about that? We're in Annapolis. No, we're not. We're in the Inner Harbor with a boat from Annapolis. There's the Science Center. Well, there was water. Ryan Flaherty's in the game at shortstop. J.J. Hardy gets 3 outs off. The Science Center should have been one. Or that was the aquarium, actually, right? Yeah, that was the aquarium. High fly ball to left. Long run for David Lowe. Foul ground. Can't get it off the top of the facade of the wall. So a long foul ball and 0-1. Well, fans, you can make your deposit now for 2015 Orioles full or partial plan. And you can start earning major league savings over the cost of single game tickets. Plus, if you pay your deposits for 2015 now, you'll be eligible to purchase 2014 postseason tickets before the general public. So earn priority access to the hottest tickets in town and save on 2015 games as well. To place your deposit, visit Orioles.com/postseason today. Parmalee batting for Mauer here. And a little bit low. Mattis retired the side in order in the 8th and back out here for the 9th. Swinging to miss at a good off-speed pitch down in the zone.
Brian Mattis has all the weapons. Of course, a one-time starter. Like so many of the arms out in the Orioles bullpen. He got the full arsenal. He's had some problems with righties. but he's been working on that, getting a little bit better, but always very effective against the lefties. You see the result of the good breaking ball, good location down in the zone.
It's also pretty amazing that no one in that bullpen is worn down. But Showalter just does an outstanding job of making sure that if they need a day, they get a day. And the Andrew Miller acquisition has been just so beneficial to this team. It gives Buck another real good back end bullpen weapon, so he doesn't always have to go to Darren O'Day in the 8th inning. Now he's got Andrew Miller, he's got Brad Brock, who, as you mentioned, has emerged 5 wins out of the bullpen. So they're all well rested, which keeps them sharp. And a swing and a miss. And down on strikes goes Parmalee, and one away here in the 9th.
Steady dose of the breaking ball down in the zone. You see him working away, and this fastball rides up to the top. You see him holding the 4-seamer there, and it holds true. He's swinging underneath it.
Now, Mattis has retired all 4 he's faced, 2 by strikeout. Here's Kenneth Vargas, the switch hitting first baseman, will bat right. And there's a strike. Vargas batted .281 for AA New Britain. So he has faced the Bowie Bay Sox this year, and now he's facing the Orioles. And we hope you can join us tomorrow. More O's action. Chris Tillman will be on the mound against Kyle Gibson. That is game 2 in this 4-game series. Our coverage on MASN begins 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Geico, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. All the access you need right here on MASN. Looking fastball, got the change up and a swing and a miss.
And that's his big weapon against the righties. Good location down in the zone. You've seen his fastball up there at 92 miles an hour. Really good change.
Hopped up down the right field line. Long run for everybody, but it hangs up there. Scope has the angle, but Markakis calls him off.
There you go. Great communication. Everybody wanting the ball. Nobody wanting that ball to touch the grass. And at the end, Markakis, he lets them know. And they all clear out of the way.
Nick sure does cover a lot of ground out there. He knows every inch of right field here at Camden Yards. And the fans beginning to come to their feet. 27,464 the attendance tonight. So a pretty good crowd on a Friday night. Here's Arcia. And strike 1. Orioles are trying to win their 77th game and go 21 games above 500.
Arcia's had a tough night. Miguel Gonzalez really carving him up. Chased a couple fastballs up at the top of the zone. Once again, seems to be a hole up there.
He does not get cheated on his swings.
He takes a healthy cut, but that bat head drops a little bit on those elevated fastballs.
So 1-2 the count on Arcia. Struck him out, and the ball game is over. And the Orioles get the opener of this 4-game series, and they make it back-to-back wins. They're now 4-1 through 5 games on this homestand. Ryan Mattis has 2 perfect innings of relief, and the Orioles win it over Minnesota. Our final score here at Camden Yards as the Birds get the opener: Baltimore 9, Minnesota 1.